Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're tackling something absolutely fundamental: how to manage our attention in this crazy information-saturated world.
It's a challenge we all face, isn't it? Feeling busy, maybe even burnt out, but not necessarily productive.
Exactly. So, our mission in this deep dive is to get past that feeling, to really understand hyperfocus and figure out how to actually do the things we intend to do.
I love that diner anecdote from our sources. It paints such a clear picture,
Oh yeah, the people glued to their phones, others kind of half listening.
Right, and then that one person has this sudden aha moment watching sports highlights. Of all things, it shows how attention works or doesn't work all around us.
It really does. But it feels like we're constantly fighting a losing battle against distraction.
Well, there's a hard scientific reason for that, and it's pretty mind-blowing when you hear the numbers.
Lay it on us.
Okay, so our senses, they're taking in something like 11 million bits of information every single second.
11 million. That's staggering.
It is, but here's the kicker. Our conscious brain, the part that focuses, it can only handle about 40 bits of that at once.
Wait, 40 out of 11 million.
40 bits. It's like trying to drink from a fire hose through a cocktail straw.
Okay, that explains a lot. No wonder multitasking feels impossible. Our bandwidth is just incredibly narrow.
It really is. And think about this, just understanding a normal conversation.
Yeah.
Decoding the words, the tone, everything. That alone eats up more than half of those 40 bits.
More than half. Just to listen and understand.
So trying to have a meaningful conversation while doing something else complex, like writing an important email, your brain literally doesn't have the capacity. It overloads instantly.
That makes perfect sense why back-to-back meetings or intense discussions leave you feeling so drained. So, okay, what are the actual costs when we inevitably try to push past that 40-bit limit when our attention gets fragmented?
Well, the first big hit is memory. The research is really clear on this.
How so?
If you're splitting your attention, like watching a movie but also glancing at your phone,
Guilty.
we all are, but you just don't remember the movie as well. Those details, the plot points, they weren't properly encoded into your long-term memory because you weren't really paying attention.
And over time, that constant fragmentation must really hurt our ability to learn and be productive on bigger things.
Absolutely. It chips away at building real knowledge. And to cope with all this incoming information, our brain leans heavily on what the sources call the autopilot trap.
Autopilot, like for routine stuff.
Exactly. Things like driving a familiar route, clearing out basic emails, doing chores you've done 1,000 times. Your brain needs that mode to function.
So it's like shifting gears internally.
Precisely. Control shifts from your prefrontal cortex, your brain's CEO, handling logic and decisions, down to the basal ganglia, which runs habits and sequences.
Okay, so autopilot is necessary, but what's the trap part?
The trap is that while it saves energy, it makes you way less deliberate and much more susceptible to distractions. You're not consciously steering the ship anymore.
And that's where the modern world, especially our devices, comes in, right? Exploiting this vulnerability.
Perfectly put, it taps right into our brain's novelty bias.
Explain that bias.
Our brains evolved to constantly scan for anything new, potential threats, potential rewards, basically anything that might give us a little dopamine hit. Survival instinct.
Okay.
Modern apps, websites, notifications, they're designed to feed that bias. They offer this endless stream of tiny, novel updates and bits of validation. A like, a new email, a news alert.
It makes distraction feel easy, almost rewarding, compared to knuckling down on hard work.
Infinitely easier. We get hooked on the possibility of something new and interesting just a click away. Focus doesn't offer that instant hit.
Okay, so we understand the problem, the limits, the traps. Let's pivot to solutions. If productivity isn't just about being busy, what is it?
I love the definition from the sources. It's refreshingly simple. Productivity is just accomplishing what you intend to do.
That's it. So if I intend to relax all day and I actually do it,
You were 100% productive that day. It shifts the focus entirely from busyness to intentionality. Did you do what you set out to do?
I like that. It feels much more achievable. And to help figure out what to intend, there's that 2x2 grid framework.
Yes. Categorizing tasks based on two simple axes. Is it productive or unproductive? And is it attractive or unattractive?
Right. So you've got things that are productive, but unattractive. Necessary evils.
That's your necessary work. Think mandatory team meetings, budget reviews, stuff you have to do but don't exactly relish. You got to push yourself through those.
And then there's the category that jumped out at me.
Yeah.
Unnecessary work. Unproductive and unattractive. The example was like reorganize your desktop icons for an hour.
Yeah, yes. active laziness, they called it.
Why do we do that? It feels vaguely useful, but it achieves nothing.
It's an escape. It mimics the feeling of accomplishment. You tidied something, but without any real mental effort. It's a way to procrastinate on the truly demanding tasks.
So the goal is to spend more time in the purposeful work quadrant. Productive, often creative, or highly skilled tasks, whether we find them attractive in the moment or not. Like writing, coding, deep analysis.
That's the zone where real progress happens, and getting there starts with being intentional right now. A simple starting point is the rule of three.
Pick 3 key things for the day.
Yep. At the start of the day, decide, what are the 3 main things I want to have accomplished by the end? It anchors your attention.
But just having an intention isn't always enough, is it? They can be pretty fragile.
Yeah.
This brings us to that fascinating research on implementation intentions.
Oh, Peter Gollwitzer's work. This is huge. It shows how to make intentions stick.
So saying I should go to the gym more isn't very effective.
Pretty useless, actually. It's too vague. What works is linking a specific action to a specific cue. Like when my lunch break starts at 12:30 p.m., I will immediately change into my workout clothes and go to the gym. You create an if-then or when-then plan.
So the cue triggers the action almost automatically, bypassing the need for massive willpower at that moment.
Exactly. And the results are dramatic. Studies found that people using these specific implementation intentions were 2 to 3 times more likely to follow through.
Wow.
Yeah, like 62% follow through for the specific group versus only 22% for the vague intention group in one study. It's a game changer.
That difference is massive.
Mm.
It proves we need a concrete plan, not just a wish. Okay, let's talk about the environment, the external battlefield, because distractions are everywhere.
And crucially, the research shows we interrupt ourselves just as often, maybe even more often than external things interrupt us.
We are our own worst enemy sometimes.
Yeah.
And the main weapon, usually the smartphone.
The productivity black hole, as the source calls it. And yeah, it's designed to be irresistible, so we need tactics to create some distance, some friction.
Like when you feel that pull, that itch to just check it. What can break that cycle?
This is where the 20-second rule is brilliant. The idea is simple, about 20 seconds of delay between the impulse and the action. Put the phone in a drawer instead of on the desk. Turn off Wi-Fi so you have to manually turn it back on. Leave it in another room when you need to focus.
Just that small delay, 20 seconds, is enough.
Often, yes.
It
Gives your rational brain, that prefrontal cortex, a brief moment to catch up and ask, do I really need to do this right now? It breaks the hypnotic loop.
I definitely need to try that. And it's not just about the interruptions, is it? The source mentioned even its presence is a problem.
A huge problem. Studies show that even if your phone is silent, face down on the table during a conversation,
Yeah?
its mere presence lowers the quality of connection and empathy between the people talking. We're subconsciously aware it's there, pulling at our attention.
That's subtle but powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, shifting to the workplace. Email. The constant deluge.
Right. A notification pops up, takes a second to glance at, but then boom, you can get sucked into replying, clicking links, and suddenly 30 minutes of deep work time is gone.
So containment strategies.
One suggestion is the 5-sentence rule for replies. Keep it concise, saves your time, saves the recipient's time, if it needs more than 5 sentences.
Pick up the phone or schedule a focused meeting.
Exactly. And speaking of meetings,
Yeah.
oh boy.
The stats are grim, aren't they? Knowledge workers spending something like 37% of their time in meetings.
It's enormous. Almost 3 hours out of an 8-hour day, potentially.
Right.
And many are less than productive.
So the defense.
Simple, but requires discipline. Never attend a meeting without a clear agenda. And if the goal can be achieved via email, push back politely. Your focus time is just too valuable. You have to guard it proactively.
We've talked a lot about intense focus, hyperfocus, but the sources stress there's a crucial counterpart we also need to be intentional about.
Yes. Scatter focus. Intentional unfocusing.
Yeah.
It sounds counterintuitive, but it's vital.
Vital for what? Recharging.
Recharging, yes, but also for creativity and planning. It's when you deliberately let your mind wander, activating what neuroscientists call the brain's default mode network.
And when you do that, what happens?
Your brain starts serving up all those things you haven't quite dealt with yet. Those nagging tasks, those unfinished thoughts. The open loops.
There's a name for that effect,
Yeah.
right? When unfinished things stick in your mind.
The Zeigarnik effect. Your brain is wired to want closure, so incomplete tasks tend to pop up when your mind has space.
Okay, so scatter focus lets these things surface. How do we use that productively? The sources mention 2 modes.
Right. First is capture mode. You deliberately let your mind wander, maybe, while doing something simple like walking or tidying, and you have a notepad ready.
To catch those open loops.
Exactly. As those to-dos or ideas surface, you just write them down immediately, get them out of your head and onto paper.
Okay, capture mode. What's the second one?
Problem crunching mode. This is more focused in a way. You hold a specific complex problem in your mind, but then you let your thoughts wander around it without forcing a solution.
So, not direct logical brainstorming, but more letting connections happen.
Precisely. It encourages nonlinear thinking, helps you see unexpected links, great for those really tricky, complex challenges where the obvious path isn't working.
That makes sense. Hyperfocus takes a lot of energy, so we need these scatter focus breaks to replenish. Are there guidelines on how often or how long?
Yeah, the research suggests a couple of rules of thumb based on our natural ultradian rhythms, our mental energy cycles.
Okay.
Rule 1. Take a break at least every 90 minutes of focused work. Rule 2. Aim for about 15 minutes of break time for every hour of work.
15 minutes per hour. That actually adds up quite a bit over a day.
It does, and it aligns with studies of top performers. One study found the most productive people worked intensely for about 52 minutes, then took a solid 17-minute break. They took their breaks seriously.
Okay, now for maybe the most surprising finding. When is the best time to use scatter focus for creative insights?
This is fascinating. It's most powerful when you actually have the least mental energy.
Really, when you're tired?
Yep.
Yeah.
During your biological off-peak time, they call it your creative prime time, or CPT.
Why then?
Because when you're a bit tired, your prefrontal cortex, the brain's filter or inhibitor, is less active. It loosens its grip.
Allowing more random, unusual connections.
Exactly. More disparate ideas can float up and connect in novel ways. The data backs it up. One study showed people solved 27.3% more insight problems during their low energy times compared to their peak focus times.
Wow. Okay, so use high energy for hyperfocus execution and use lower energy for scatter focus creativity and problem crunching. That totally flips the usual advice.
It does. It means managing your energy and your focus mode strategically throughout the day. You need both deep, intentional focus and deliberate, intentional unfocus.
So wrapping this up, it sounds like true expertise, true creativity, it comes from patiently connecting the dots over time.
Absolutely. All that knowledge, all those experiences, they're the dots. Genius, like Einstein's work or Mozart's music, often looks like magic.
But it's not.
It's not magic. It's the result of an immense amount of focused work and connection making, those 10,000 hours that we don't usually see. They were incredibly deliberate about collecting and connecting their dots.
Which brings us to our final thought for you, the listener. Think about your attention, that limited 40-bit hosepipe filling the vast pool of your mind.
Given that constraint, how deliberate are you being about the quality of the dots you're consuming? What truly valuable information are you choosing to focus on today?
Especially things that might challenge you or seem totally unrelated to what you already know, because that's often the fuel for your next big insight. Are you feeding your future self?